I did my first dental mission trip in 1999, the year I graduated from dental school. I went to Vietnam with a group called Operation Smile, and it was a life-changing experience. In 2014, I found out about an organization called Kids Services from my friend and colleague at Natural Dental Associates, Dr. Tippergraf. Dr. Tippergraf and I went to the Philippines together, and I was so excited about that experience that I signed up for the organization's next mission to Guatemala. Every morning, we would get up early, load our equipment into a school bus, and travel to a village. Most days, we would be greeted by crowds of kids and their families. We were told some of these children had walked for miles that morning just to get treatment. The first day, when we got to a village where we were working, a little girl ran up to Dr. Bob, the organization's founder. She had her chart in her hands and was so happy to see him.
7 years of charts with her with them. So she's last time.
Typically, the mission group would see about 200 kids per day. In a typical practice, you'd see maybe about half as many patients in a day. But of course, your time is limited in these villages, and you're trying to get as much work done as possible. After years of being a dentist, you naturally come up with ways to put your youngest patients at ease. But of course, it's a different situation when you're in a cinder block building, basically a schoolroom, working over little tiny desks and tables, and you don't even speak the language. Half of the people who came on this trip with kids services weren't dentists. These non-dental volunteers were assigned different jobs every day, like sterilizing instruments and educating the kids about the importance of brushing. The waiting area, which is the last stop before the kids get to see a dentist, can be a little chaotic. Kids are nervous, running around. To try and keep track of everybody was very difficult, so we would stick a piece of tape on their back with a number on it that matched their charts. Afterwards, there was a post-op area where we had to make sure the children were comfortable. The kids in these villages were so poor, and they were so grateful in many cases just to have a chance to sit down and color a couple pages out of a coloring book. Obviously, we don't have all the equipment we would have access to in the United States, and the organization brings whatever instruments it can fit into a suitcase or two. Some of the tools in that suitcase must have been around the world several times by now. It does teach you a lesson in how to get more out of a slightly more limited set of tools. Working with a team of dentists and volunteers you've never met before is an intense experience. Basically, you're taking a bunch of strangers and plopping them down in a kind of primitive work environment. You get to know people very quickly. I love this work, and I consider it a regular part of my career at this point. The next trip, the plan is to join Kids Services on a mission trip to Cambodia, and after that, who knows?